Greg
That's
Wolf,
all it's about.
who can just shoot from the hip.
How about those two? Was the Phillies
So-
game last night?
Oh, no, it was
All
ours.
four of
No.
them. It was
I saw-
four of them.
It was Burton,
You're good.
Good evening. Welcome to the council meeting of Monroe Township, May 28th, 2025. This meeting is advertised pursuant of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6 through 10:4-21. Adequate notice was placed in the official publications of the Township of Monroe, i.e. New Jersey Times, Courier Post, and the Sentinel of Gloucester County. A copy of that notice is posted on the bulletin board at the municipal complex. Please note that the clerk has placed a sign-in sheet in the rear of the courtroom. If anyone would like to address council during the public portion, please sign in, raise your hand, and I will ask you to come forward to the microphone. Kindly state your name and address for the record. In addition, please note that this meeting is currently being live-streamed on the Township's YouTube channel in accordance with Ordinance 56-2024, and a link for the copy of this recording will also be posted on the Township's website for the public view at their convenience. Please rise for the salute to the flag and remain standing for the invocation.
As we gather here today as the leadership of Monroe Township, we pray that we are ever mindful of the responsibility we have to render service to our fellow citizens and to our community, keeping in mind always the enduring values of life, exerting our efforts in those areas and on those things upon which future generations can build with confidence. Let us strive to continue to make Monroe Township a successful community and lead with truthfulness, trust, and good character for the residents of Monroe Township. Amen.
Jen, roll call.
Council Vice President Mrs. Adams is excused. Mr. Cope?
Here.
Mrs. Fox? Here. Mr. Heverly?
Here.
Mr. O'Reilly?
Here.
Mr. Roxy?
Here.
Mr. Valentine?
Here.
Mayor Wolf?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Kurz? Here. Solicitor Mrs. Grace?
Here.
Business Administrator Mr. DeHart?
Here.
Director of Code Enforcement Mr. Sebastian is excused. Director of Community Affairs Mrs. Park?
Here.
Director of Parks and Recreation Mr. Bruno?
Here.
Director of Public Safety Mr. Rump?
Here.
Director of Public Works Mr. Dilks is excused. Director of Real Estate Ms. Pizzatski?
Here.
Chief Financial Officer Ms. Boyer?
Here.
Captain Urio?
Here.
And myself, Deputy Municipal Clerk Jen Harbison here.
Moving on to presentation and proclamation, could I invite up Miss Amanda Peacock?
So good evening, everyone. Welcome, Miss Amanda Peacock, who she is no stranger to Monroe Township. She is our highly recognized and decorated beauty queen here in Monroe Township, so congratulations. But we are here to recognize Amanda for her outstanding work. The Township of Monroe, be it known that the mayor and council of the Township of Monroe in the County of Gloucester and the state of New Jersey hereby awards this certificate of recognition to Amanda Peacock in recognition of earning the title Miss Cape Shores 2025 for her advocacy efforts about the dangers of distracted driving through her social impact initiative, Just Drive, #ItCanWait, which it definitely can. We've seen a lot of disasters, so we thank you for all your great work with that program. This is presented this 28th day of May 2025, signed by myself as mayor, our council president, Mr. Don Heverly, council vice president, Ms. Denise Adams, Councilman Brian Cope, Councilwoman Carol Ann Fox, Councilman Patrick O'Reilly, Councilman Al Rossi, and Councilman John Valentine. Once again, congratulations. Thank you for representing our township throughout the entire state, but congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And would it be possible, can I give you my cell phone to take a picture too? Yeah, we'll send. Oh, yeah, as long as I got it.
Well, thank you so much for having me here tonight and for recognizing me with the proclamation. This is my 6th year competing at Miss New Jersey, and I've, competed as a teen as well. And any opportunity that I'm given, to speak about my journey through Miss New Jersey, I always want to highlight that there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to pageantry and competing in Miss America. So if you didn't know, Miss Cape Shores is a preliminary for Miss New Jersey, which then qualifies you for Miss America. And last year, if you didn't know, I was the first runner-up to Miss New Jersey. So we got really, really close. So obviously, the goal year after year is the title of Miss New Jersey and to be able to represent the Garden State at the Miss America competition. But I think far beyond like what transcends a physical crown that goes on your head throughout a year of service, whether it's Miss Cape Shores, Miss South Jersey, whatever you're representing, it's a true journey of growth. Over the last, I guess, 13 years now, I'm almost 26, I have been an advocate against distracted driving, and I've gone in throughout South Jersey, Central Jersey, North Jersey, to talk about these dangers and educate our next generation of drivers, because I truly believe that they are going to be the ones that are going to change this epidemic. They're going to be the ones to make our roads a safer place. So actually this year, I had the opportunity to speak to the entire class of 2027 at Washington Township High School about these dangers. So what I do year after year is volunteer in the community at various events, go into schools, go into community events to educate about these dangers. And that growth, that's not usually an experience that a 25-year-old woman, 26-year-old woman would get. And with every opportunity, it's only made me stronger. And each year coming back to the competition, year after year of not winning, it's far beyond that. Just the professional development that I've gotten over the last 13 years is absolutely incredible. And I think that's the reason why, at my age, I'm the youngest person that works in my department at Princeton University. And without those, countless mock interviews and the skills that I've learned on the job, I would not be in that position working at, the nation's top university and Ivy League institution. So thank you year after year for, Monroe Township for your support in my endeavors. I hope to make you proud this year on the Miss New Jersey stage and bring the crown back to Williamstown where it belongs. Just thank you, because I wouldn't be able to do what I do without, the support of my parents and the support of my community at large. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to matters of discussion.
Yes, if I could, met with a business owner this past week, and that's why we have this Chapter 175-135 land management signs on, for a matter of discussion, to propose that we revisit this ordinance. It is a ordinance that hasn't been amended in about, I believe it was about 13 years, and who knows how far along these specifics go in it. And basically, the business owner is looking at taking his current sign, which is, I believe, 48 square feet within the confines of our ordinance, and he's got a regular sign. He wants to change it to an LED sign, digital, and the reason why we're asking for the change is he just simply wants to replace the same size, doesn't want to go bigger, he'll still stay within the size frame. He just wants to update it and come current with our times, that everyone's going to these LED signs. They still have to meet the requirements of the luminance and how bright the signs are and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's time that we update that and catch up with the times regarding businesses and things like that. It'll be a great help to our businesses as well. So we're just looking to make some alterations to that and present it at the next ordinance committee meeting, and we just wanted to give you that update on it. So any input from anybody?
Any questions from council?
Just from my experience being on the zoning board, I agree that, our ordinance is outdated, but you also need to consider, and we review the applications as it relates to the adjacent property owners. So we've seen applications for churches, and then you have a residential home right next door, actually right across the street from the sign. So I need to make sure that with the ordinance is being written such at nighttime, it has a dimming feature, right? We just need to be considerate to if the situation arises where there's residential homes, that we build the ordinance in such a way that it protects them as well.
Yeah, and I believe the current ordinance has areas like the Black Horse Pike Corridor where this location would be, you know, commercial zoned and things like that. So we'll definitely work on that and get it on the agenda for ordinance for review at the ordinance meeting, so.
All
right.
Thank you, Mayor Wolf. Any other matters of discussion?
The next one is the Hazardous Discharge Site Remediation Fund application. It's a 75% remediation action grant for the closure of our landfill. This was put on the agenda a few months ago, but we had some paperwork going back and forth with Remington and Vernick. So it's finally been initiated. We did have, we started off and gave them payment for doing the work. We should see over $300,000 return on this once this is finalized. So it should be finalized, I believe, by January is what I think the timetable is. So just wanted to make sure you were up to date where we were with this grant.
So Jim, does that money, and maybe this is the Lorraine question, since we don't have it budgeted, it goes into surplus to really, you can't do anything with it this year until?
Yeah, this will go into miscellaneous revenue, so Myrna, the
Okay.
Myrna fund, so it'll be there for our surplus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, as long as it gets done before January, if not, it'll fall in the next year's.
Okay.
Does council have any other matters to discuss? Seeing none, does anyone have any questions regarding resolutions scheduled this evening? Does anyone have any questions regarding ordinances scheduled this evening?
I do.
Mr. Valentine?
Yeah, 15/20/25, tax abatement. I think it needs to be changed. We're facing what, roughly 7.9% tax increase, correct? So, and at the same time, we're telling the residents, hey, we gotta raise your taxes, we don't have enough to function, and then you're gonna give a builder and developer 5-year tax abatement. That makes no sense to me at all.
Can I chime in a little bit? Please. So we've had discussions on this, and I don't disagree. This particular, the abatements that have been coming through, at least, and I think everyone will attest, at least since I've been on council, we do not grant residential abatements, generally. At least I've been on the abatement committee. These abatements that we've been approving, and we've spoken about it, are as part of the rehabilitation zone that was created, I want to say 6 years ago, so 2 years before, at least I was on council, about 7 years ago. It was part of a much larger project, and essentially it's all tied to the Whitehall Gardens 55 and over community. The developer originally wanted to build townhouses. We did not support the townhouses in that area, and the only way that we could get him off the townhouses, which he was permitted by right to do, was to grant him an abatement for Whitehall Gardens for the 55 and over. As part of that, in order to make that area a redevelopment zone, they had to expand it, which covered your wards 4 and 5. The intent to blend it all together was to curtail with the 55 and over, but at the same time, the residents in Ward 4 or 5, at the time, we were getting, I don't want to say complaints, but requests, because there's a lot of dilapidated homes in that area, so they wanted to create the rehabilitation zone that give residents the ability to get tax-free abatements on any upgrades. To John's point, he's not wrong because of the way that this particular project was created. There is a loophole, and that is this abatement in question follows that loophole in that it qualifies per the redevelopment and rehabilitation zone requirements. It's almost like it's no different than the Whitehall Gardens abatement on that house, right? So to John's point, and I don't know the question because I did some more homework on it is, the abatement on Whitehall Gardens ends in 2027, because it's 5 years from the last house. And I checked with the tax office, the abatement ends in 27. The question I have, and it's a legitimate one, is do we have the ability to tweak this ordinance to limit what we have on the agenda tonight, which is,
Should
what's
go to-
what's happening
It
is,
should go to primary, if it's your primary residence.
Yep.
Yes, if you're gonna fix your home, it should go to you. Also, we should put something in there to try to revitalize Main Street, to have them a hand. If
well,
they-
that's, we can have a much larger discussion. I'm happy to dig in, because I was well part of that with
Right.
the redevelopment zone and everything we did there, and I'll bring you up to speed on that. I think that's a topic for a different day, but I'm happy to dig into it with
But the
you on
developer
that.
and the builder, that's always gonna be a no for me.
No, that's fine, right? That's fine, but
You know, we
back
have,
to,
what,
back to the,
2.5 children per household, right?
on what?
But just an average home. It's like 2.5 kids per household, right? If I'm correct, if I remember
I think
correctly.
that's the American average,
Yeah, but okay, we still
Yeah.
have kids, they're not paying no municipal service, anything. At the same time, we're telling the township, hey, we don't have enough money, we're raising your taxes, but you're gonna give this guy a tax abatement. And he won't pay no municipal service, it'll break down the way it goes, but it's still not right. He's still gonna pay the house, he's still gonna sell the house and make his money. It should be for your primary residence, for a residential home inside of the township. You wanna fix your home, you fix it, and then you get the 5-year tax abatement for what you're putting out.
Yep.
It
So
makes
the
it a lot
question-
easier.
So the question I have, and listen, I agree with Councilman Valentine. Do we have the ability to adjust the ordinance to remove, I call it the loophole, allow these residents to have that ability through the rehabilitation to rehabilitate their house? But what people are doing, and this is probably the third, maybe the fourth over the years, where what developers have done is they're finding property in the lakes, they're building them. Now, we are putting a clause in there that they can't be renting or anything, so they have to be sold as fee simple residential homes. The question I think we're asking ourselves is, can that be disqualified at this point with the ordinance, the way it's written?
I'll have to take a further look at the ordinance, and obviously, we'll need to have some discussions as to the history, because if there's been any sort of detrimental reliance on this ordinance existence and any other preceding agreements or dealings, that might make it a little difficult, might pose an obstacle to change it at the current time. But again, we'll certainly take a look and have additional discussions on it.
Yeah, so, and if I could just chime in, I mean, look, when this ordinance was adopted, I guess 6 years ago or so, whenever it was adopted, the intent was good. Unfortunately, there's been, I don't want to call them loopholes, but basically loopholes that people use to take advantage of the benefit as well, which wasn't the intent of it. So if we can come up with a modification, and if we're legally allowed to make that modification, then we make it.
Yep. And on, just to end the redevelopment, we can have a conversation, or Main Street. Main Street was put in the redevelopment zone. We totally classified it. And that goes back, what, our first year, second year on council? Pass it as a redevelopment zone, which your abatement comment automatically falls in line. So there is an abatement available on Main Street properties. Have we seen an application for an abatement? Not a single one.
No.
Just putting that out there, that the abatement exists for Main Street because it's qualified under a redevelopment
I
zone.
thought we had one in the very beginning. Business is no longer there now, but I thought there was one, but I could be wrong.
Go back.
Yeah.
I think that was a slight after one. I know which one
Yeah.
I thought. Okay.
Does anyone have any other questions for ordinance scheduled this evening? Good?
No, good.
Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve minutes for closed executive session, February 26, 2025, council meeting March 12, 2025, and council meeting March 26, 2025?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Jen, I have to abstain from March 12th.
Okay.
Correspondence this evening. We have the carnival permit for Our Lady of Peace Parish. Jen, is all the paperwork in order?
Yes, all the paperwork's in order.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Amusement licenses, Alicia's Five Star Dive Bar, Mariachi's Williamstown Inn and Yogi Bear's Yellowstone Park Camp Resort. Jen, is all the paperwork in order?
Yes, it is.
And can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Resolutions. Do I have a motion to open public portion for a resolution scheduled this evening?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to speak on resolutions scheduled this evening? Do I have a motion to close public portion for a resolution scheduled?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Council
Oppo-
President, sorry, go ahead.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Sorry, if I might just comment on Resolution 210, 2025, that's a resolution awarding contracts for the electric supply services. We will need to remove reference to traffic lights and street lights, as presently we can only approve the lights or energy for township properties and the library and municipal building. So I'll just note that for the record, and the resolution will be updated accordingly.
Okay, so we don't have to remove it.
No,
Okay.
it won't be removed from tonight's
Just-
agenda, it will just be updated. I just wanted
Okay.
everyone to be made aware of that change. Anyone have any questions on that removal? Thank you.
Do I have a motion to bracket resolutions R 183-2025 through Resolution 184-2025 and Resolution 190-2025 through Resolution 210-2025?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Do I have a motion to approve resolutions 183-2025 through 184-2025 and resolutions 190-2025 through resolution 210-2025?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. I will now turn this portion of the meeting over to Ordinance Chair, Councilman O'Reilly.
All right, thank you. Can I get a motion to open public portion on ordinances scheduled for second reading?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anyone wishing to speak on the ordinances scheduled for second reading this evening? Seeing none, can I get a motion to close public portion?
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none. Ordinance 15-2025, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Monroe providing for the implementation of the 5-year tax exemption and abatement law pursuant to NJSA 40A:21-1 and approving property tax agreement between the Township of Monroe and Timothy Ton Simpson LLC, 1581 Sunny Hill Ave, Block 9010, Lot 5. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Mrs. Adams is excused. Mr. Cope?
Yes.
Mrs. Fox? Yes. Mr. O'Reilly?
Yes.
Mr. Rossi?
Yes.
Mr. Valentine?
No.
Mr. Heatherly?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Ordinance 16-2025, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Monroe to amend Chapter 69 of the Township, of the Code of the Township of Monroe entitled Police Division of. This is second reading. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Mrs. Adams is excused. Mr. Cope?
Yes.
Mrs. Fox? Yes. Mr. O'Reilly?
Yes.
Mr. Rossi?
Yes.
Mr. Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Heatherly?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Ordinance 18-2025, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Monroe to amend Chapter 280 of the Code of the Township of Monroe entitled Animal Control. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Mrs. Adams is excused. Mr. Cope?
Yes.
Mrs. Fox? Yes. Mr. O'Reilly?
Yes.
Mr. Rossi?
Yes.
Mr. Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Heatherly?
Yes.
Motion carries.
This concludes ordinances. At this time, I'll turn the portion over to Council President Hubbard.
Thank you, sir. New business. Does anyone from council have any new business to discuss? Seeing none, does anybody from council have any unfinished business to discuss?
I do. I have a question. Where are we at with the LoSAP?
So the LoSAP, we got some answers from the state DCA. We've had meetings with both fire departments. We've come to somewhat of an agreement. We are working, the fire departments are going to research revamping some of the language in the ordinance as far as the point system goes. And they're going to come back to us when they're ready with those recommended changes, and then we'll make those recommendations to council. But everything is on par and working out.
Okay.
So-
So we're still protecting the older firefighters, going to grandfather them in so they don't lose anything.
Correct. Correct. Nobody's going to lose anything.
Yeah, well, that's what I.
There's
I'm
gonna be
worried
some-
about the older firefighters.
There's going to be some changes to the ordinance as far as the point system, which was discovered in research and things like that we all agree on, us and the fire
Right,
department.
as long as the older firefighters would be grandfathered in, it wouldn't affect them. It'll only affect the newer guys as it runs out.
It's going to, everyone's protected. It'll be, everybody's happy, put it that way.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing about it, so
Including
I was
the
asking
older
about it.
firefighters, the younger firefighters, everybody's happy. They are very satisfied with the outcome,
Okay.
so.
One quick question for the mayor. Where were we at on 322 and Fry's Mill Road?
I will give you that update in my report.
Oh, okay.
Any other unfinished business?
That's it.
Seeing none, reports and other matters?
Mayor Wolf.
Yes, Thursday, April 24th was Bring Your Child to Work Day. Our employees here had the opportunity to bring their children to Monroe Township for the day to educate them on what their parents do each and every day here in Monroe Township. It was a fun day for the children and our employees as well. I want to thank our HR coordinator, Ms. Christine Skoll, and her assistant Felicia McBride for running the program each and every year. They do a fantastic job. Also on Thursday, April 24th, I had the privilege of attending a draft party for one of our own, Donovan Ezaruka. Donovan grew up right here in Monroe Township. He played through our youth program. I had the opportunity to coach Donovan for a few years. Donovan is also a graduate of Williamstown High School before he went on to play college ball at Boston College. Donovan was selected in the second round of the NFL draft. Although he's not the first player from Williamstown High School that was drafted, he's the first Monroe Township youth player that was ever drafted. So we are very excited about that. Congratulations to Donovan and his family. They're a great family here in town. Donovan is even a better person than what he is a football player. So we look forward to watching him play on Sundays. Unfortunately, he went to the Dallas Cowboys. And I see Director Rumpf over there smiling from ear to ear because he's a Cowboys fan. But, you know, we will have to cheer for the Cowboys now because Donovan's there, but we won't cheer for them on the weeks that they play the Philadelphia Eagles. Saturday, April 26th, I attended the Autism Awareness Day event hosted at our Pfeiffer Community Center. There's a local nonprofit, Finn's Friends, that does a fantastic job working with our Community Affairs Department. We really look forward to this event each and every year. Wednesday, April 30th, we attended and hosted Flags for Forgotten Soldiers at our EMS Center down on Corkery Lane and Bluebell Roads. If you notice, there are flags out there. They represent and are a reminder for military servicemen and women who have taken their own lives. Our hope is that this will spread some awareness and maybe someone will be able to prevent this from happening in the future. Also, Wednesday, April 30th, I attended the Gloucester County Mayors Association meeting. Nothing to report there. Friday, May 9th, I attended and stood out on our roadways in the intersection of Fry's Mill Road and 322 to encourage our members of our Police Unity Tour as they pedaled their way through Monroe Township en route to Washington, D.C. This supports fallen officers throughout the nation and their families. It's a great cause. I am very proud of our officers right here in Monroe Township that participated, including our business administrator, Mr. Jim Dehart, where they ride each and every year to Washington, D.C. So great job and congratulations, Jim. Saturday, May 10th, I attended the Arts and Crafts Festival on Main Street. Weather was fantastic. I know the Director of Community Affairs will probably report on this, so I don't want to steal her thunder, but well over 200 vendors and between the vendors and then food trucks. It was jam-packed on Main Street. It was a really great day where a lot of people enjoyed it, so great job to our Community Affairs Department. Sunday, May 18th, I attended the 150th year anniversary, bless you, at Cross Keys United Methodist Church, where I presented a proclamation to their pastor. It was great to visit with the members of the church and learn about their 150-year history. Friday, May 23rd, I attended a meeting with the state and county elected officials, as well as engineers from Gloucester County. This meeting was in reference to the intersection project at 322 and Fries Mill Road. This has been a pain point in this township for many, many years. We petitioned the state to take that project back several years ago when I was council president, and then Senator Fred Madden took the project back over. It immediately began construction and then was soon after shut down because of DEP issues, because stormwater management changes. They have been working. We have been pushing, sending emails, sending letters. We've had meetings with the DOT commissioner himself in Trenton last June. We are disgusted by the project. I did attend this meeting when they wanted to have it mid-June, and I absolutely refused to meet in June, that we've been waiting long enough. I have been told that the workers, surveyors, are going to be out there by June 1st. They are resurveying it. They settled with the contractor, because obviously with a 20-month delay, costs go up, and they're supposed to have machinery and moving dirt and have workers on site the second week of June. So we will see about that. We will hold them to it. If not, we will go out there and we will hold a press conference, and we will call people out on the carpet for the disaster of a project that this has been. What people have to understand, this is a state highway and a county roadway that intersect. The state supersedes the county. It is ultimately the state's intersection. We are appreciative that they allocated, millions of dollars to do this project. Unfortunately, we do not appreciate how long it's taking. So I assure you that we are on them. We are pushing, and we will see if they show up by June 1st. If not, then we will take our next necessary steps. On Monday, May 26th, I attended our annual Memorial Day Parade. There were comments from different people. This has been the largest crowd that we have seen in many, many years. It was very well attended, especially down at the monument. We noticed larger crowds, but it was great to walk down Main Street, see residents with flags, American flags, waving them in their patriotic shirts. I know many people use this as a kickoff to the summer, and I say this, when I speak there, but remember what this is really about. It's about honoring our servicemen and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice, courageously fought for us to protect our freedoms that we enjoy each and every day. I also had 31 business meetings this month, or personnel meetings and other meetings. I officiated 7 weddings. I want to wish all the mothers out there a very happy belated Mother's Day. I hope you enjoyed your day, which is so well deserved. And I do have another report this evening. As most people know, each year I am tasked with giving a speech on basically where we are with our budget. So I am required to provide this annual address to the public to keep you all informed of the state of the township. As many of you know, we've recently adopted our budget at our last council meeting, and I truly appreciate all the council members for their full support of the budget, which was passed unanimously. I would just like to point out, because many probably didn't notice at the last meeting, there is so much time and effort that goes into building a budget like we have. It's a very stressful process for those that are involved in it. At times, there are many people involved in that budget process. When it received full support by this council at our last meeting, I sit here and I notice our business administrator, our CFO, the township auditor, and his staff were here, all who have worked on that. And the township CFO, her personnel, they work on this as well. they very respectfully and quietly sat there and celebrated. And I don't know if anybody else noticed, but, you know, they are shaking hands with one another, they're embracing, they're smiling. Passing this budget, you know, it might just be a formality to some of us. It's no big deal to other people. But the work that these people put in on it, obviously, you know, that showed that evening. You know, so they put so much time and effort into that to ensure that they're utilizing every tax dollar, every penny that we have to the best of our abilities, while also ensuring that we are being mindful and being fiscally responsible to our taxpayers. So it's a huge deal to all those people that worked on it, and it was clear and evident that night when it was passed. So I would like to thank everyone that was involved in the budget process, from our BA, Mr. Dehart, our CFO, Ms. Lorraine Boyer, her staff, our township auditor, Bowman and Company, our council budget committee, those members from council that sat in on meetings, all of our directors, supervisors, and other support staff, and all the members of council for, again, unanimously adopting that budget last meeting. Now, with that being said, this was an extremely tough year, and the budget is extremely tight for spending this year. Unfortunately, we will see an increase, and I want to remind everybody that when I ran for office, you know, I made a promise that we will always be transparent and that the administration would always work hard and make the best decisions for you, the taxpayers. This township had a great run and held municipal taxes at zero for 6 straight years. I'm very proud that I was on town council for 4 of those years. I know Councilman O'Reilly was here, Councilman Fox, she was here for a few of those years, you know, and it was a great thing. Unfortunately, due to the rising costs that everybody knows, we've seen record high inflation over recent years. We had contractual obligations that were negotiated prior to me becoming mayor, increases in other services and insurance premiums, and not to mention lost revenue from different line items such as land sales and things like that. That all comes off the next year, which creates another hole in your budget. But we can no longer continue to keep the taxes flat. Over the past few years, we've been able to minimize increases, and this year we'll continue to minimize the increase. I would like to explain first how our taxes are broken down for those that don't know. Approximately 54.5% of your taxes go to the school district, which is managed by the Monroe Township School Board. They control that portion of your tax bill. Approximately 27.5% goes to this township, which ultimately this council adopts that budget, and then the remaining portion, or about 18%, goes to the county of Gloucester, controlled by our Gloucester County Commissioners. Secondly, your taxes are based off of your property's assessed value. Keep in mind, it's the assessed value, which is different from your actual sale of your home value. Typically, the assessed value is much lower than the sale value. I can tell you, if you purchase a home today, that's going to be your assessed value. But those of you that have been living in your homes for several years or many years, your assessed value was done several years back by the Gloucester County tax assessor. And they periodically will reassess your home. But that's the number that you pay taxes on. Now that I explained how our taxes are broken down, our average home in Monroe Township is tax assessed value at $208,000. So the average home is $208,000. The average homeowner in this township will see a municipal tax increase of $150.96 for the entire year. So your tax bill on the municipal side will go up $150 to the average home. Just to give you a comparison and put a specific development in front of you so you understand the magnitude of it, a homeowner in Hunter Woods neighborhood is most likely tax assessed at approximately $350,000. Those homeowners would see a municipal increase of about $254. Keep in mind the school tax has to be calculated. The county tax will have to be calculated as well, but I do believe, I did speak with a commissioner from Gloucester County. They actually may see a reduction this year. So that will hopefully bring down our total cost. Although we are not happy to tell you of an increase, but we are happy that it's minimal. $250 for a Hunter Woods home, $150 for the average home in Monroe Township. But it's a minimal, and especially knowing that our administration, we are now taking a different approach to our budget. In past administrations, they have put various items into our capital budget, which is basically a budget built by taking a loan out, or what's called a bond. That bond or loan is financed 10 to 15 years, sometimes even 20 years. When financing these items, you pay interest, throughout the entire loan. One specific item that comes to mind are vehicles, such as our police vehicles. They have been placed in capital budgets for years through different administrations. So we're financing a police vehicle for 10, 15, maybe sometimes 20 years. Those vehicles are in the scrap yards before we're even done paying for them. It just doesn't make financial sense. And that's why we are changing the way the administrations operate with the capital budget. We have now moved many of these items this year into the general operating budget, which will ultimately make more financial sense because it's a year-to-year budget. We're no longer going to be putting the township further and further into debt, which is not sustainable. People have used sayings of kicking the can down the road and let the next guy worry about it. I'm here to tell you that this administration, the way we're operating and the steps that we are putting in place, we're stopping that old mindset, and we're going to protect this township and protect our taxpayers. So now, on a more positive note, as many of you know, this administration has been extremely aggressive in attaining grants. We have applied for millions of dollars in grant monies. I'm extremely proud to announce that we have been very successful over these past 3 years. We have attained over $4.6 million in grant money to utilize on different projects, such as Finn's Friends Parks, roadways, our firehouse project, updating various tot lots that are throughout the township, basketball courts, public safety items. That's where all this grant money's going. These grants have significantly assisted us to continue to provide better services and continue to minimize the taxes. Just to give you an idea, if those grants, we didn't have them, you would see an additional 10% added to this budget on your municipal tax budget. So again, I want to thank all the staff who have been aggressive with the grants, who have thought outside the box to continue to make this township better while also minimizing our taxes. We have also celebrated in these 3 years many ribbon cuttings and grand openings to new business. We continue to entertain different business prospects who come to this township with our new process that we put in place just a few years ago of bringing everybody together in one room. At the onset of the business approaching this township, we have our zoning representatives, our planning representatives, construction representatives. We are all in a meeting right from the start with the business. We have received nothing but positive feedback. The businesses feel that their questions get answered immediately in the first meeting, early in the process. It's in one meeting, and then they don't have to run from office to office like they do in other townships. So in closing, I would just like to let everyone know we will continue to work hard for our residents and our taxpayers. We will continue to be transparent. We will also continue to be creative. We will continue to work together with all of our elected officials here and make Monroe Township even better. So I thank you for your time, and I look forward to finishing 2025 strong. Thank you, and this will conclude my report.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Kurz.
Shorter report. On April 30th, I attended the Flags for Soldiers event. May 5th, I attended the planning board in the mayor's absence. And on May 26th, I attended the Memorial Day ceremonies at Veterans Plaza monuments, which, like the mayor said, was very well attended. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Solicitor, Mrs. Grace.
Nothing to report, thank you.
Thanks. Business Administrator, Mr. DeHart.
Nothing to report, thank you.
Director of Community Affairs, Mrs. Park.
Something to report. Community Affairs has had a busy month as usual. The beginning of the month, we had our monthly craft class with Bernie on May 5th, which she does every month, and it books up immediately. As soon as we list it, it's booked up within minutes. So that's a very successful event that the people love. On May 10th, we had our Main Street Arts and Craft Festival, which was another successful event with almost 300 vendors, a food court, bounce houses, petting zoo, and much, much more. It was beautiful weather, little bit of wind, nothing too bad, but it was huge. Like I said, it was 300 vendors, so there was a lot of people to do. This year, we also did our first Adults with Disability Dance on May 16th. It was such a huge success that we had such positive feedback that we've added another one for July. That'll be July 18th. Today, we had our Seniors Memorial Luncheon to kick off the beginning of the summer with entertainment from Frankie Gabinelli, which the seniors they love him. Okay, we have our second chance prom scheduled for June 11th at the Forum. Tickets have been steady, and yesterday we held a free outfit event for our seniors who were welcome to come out to the Pfeiffer, where our volunteers had set up racks full of donated formal attire and accessories to help offset the cost for their event. And they really had a ball picking out some gowns and some suits and jewelry. We also have our candy bar bingo scheduled for June 20th, and such an interest that we have had added 2 sessions, one for seniors scheduled 2:30 to 4:30, and one for families with children from 6:30 to 8:30, which is already sold out. For the month of May, between our food pantry on Church Street and the Pfeiffer food giveaways, we fed over 2,400 families. I would like to personally thank all of our volunteers for keeping our event so successful. Without them, possibly, we could not do it. Okay, if anyone would like more information pertaining to community affairs, events, or food giveaways, please utilize our Facebook page, Monroe Township Community Affairs, for all the most up-to-date information. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Director of Parks and Recreation, Mr. Bruno.
Yes. This Saturday, May 31st, we have a Clean Communities throughout the whole town. So everybody just be mindful, everybody on the side of the roads. That's all we're asking. Next is our Music Fest on June 7th. We have the tickets on pre-sale June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 11 to 3, and then 6 to 8. June 3rd, 6 to 8 down at Owens Park. Next, we have, there we go. We have a grant that we received for a new fitness court at Owens Park. We're in the process of finalizing everything there. Tot lots, we just ordered 3 new tot lots for Ward Lane, Kimberly West, Forest Hills. The estimated start date is fall of 2025. And lastly but not least, Owens Basketball Court is going to be resurfaced and striped on June 9th, this Monday coming up. So that concludes my report.
Mr. Bruno, is that the Green Meadows basketball court, correct?
I'm sorry?
That's the Green Meadows basketball
Yes.
court, not Owens. Okay, just wanted to confirm.
No, Jimmy, no, I'm sorry, no. Owens Park is getting resurfaced and striped.
Okay, June 9th, we're starting the,
Owens Park.
okay.
That we have to.
Why don't you check on that and get back to us?
But that concludes my report, thank you.
Thank you. Director of Public Safety, Mr. Rump.
Yeah, quick report for Williamstown Fire Department. Calls for service for the month of April were 93. Average members per call, 10 per call. Total members, hours attended in those calls, 297 hours, and total calls for the year to date, 342 calls.
Thank you. Director of Real Estate, Ms. Pizzatski.
No report, thank you.
Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Boyer.
Yes, just to add to the mayor's report, you know, we had over $2.3 million in our budget for grants. We have an additional 9 grants on on resolution tonight to go. They have to go for Chapter 159 because the budget's already adopted. But that's 9 additional grants other than the over 2.3 million we had. So they really did a lot of work. I didn't do any of that. Just the bulletproof vest one.
Captain Urio.
Oh, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Cope.
I would just like to thank our Economic Development Commission along with the Mayor's Office in coordinating the veterans banners being hung along Main Street Great program, they turned out great, and looking forward to getting more up in the future. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Mrs. Fox?
Yes, the Monroe Senior Commission will be hosting a Tomasello Winery luncheon with wine tasting and resort casino. This will be held on Thursday, July 24th. Includes a lunch at Tomasello, wine tasting, then they will be going down to the resort, the casino. It's $45 a person. Tickets will be on sale starting June 4th from 12 to 3, and then June 12th from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. You must be 55 years or older and a resident of Monroe. And on to the next, the EDC, as Councilman Cope had just stated, with the banners. That is, we are so proud to see this all down Main Street. It is an absolute honor to all of our veterans. If I can say, if you haven't had the chance to walk down Main Street or slowly take a drive, please do. My father, I know some of our residents in the audience that have banners up. It is an honor to have this display. And I would like to say as well for all council that we thank you very much for doing this. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
So if I could just comment on that banner program, I didn't include it in my report, and I thank you all for commenting on it. You know, we started that program and we tasked the Economic Development Commission with helping out. My aide, Michelle Carbonera, had a lot of work put into that. And it's still in the beginning stages. This program is going to continue to grow. Obviously, we put it out to the public. We had 50 banners that sold pretty quickly. There's approximately 50 polls out there. But one, we can generate funding for it, maybe through sponsorships, and add more polls and go further down Main Street. Or two, we can start adding, you know, a banner on each side of the pole to accommodate more people, because now that people have seen them and they do look fantastic, more people want to be involved. So we can continue that program, and hopefully we will make it into a much bigger program for this township to honor those veterans, past and present, that it is so well deserved. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. O'Reilly?
Yeah. May 21st, I attended the monthly Monroe Municipal Utility Authority meeting. They passed their operations and capital budgets this round. There was no discussion on whether any of those budgets would result in a ratepayer increase or not, so I don't want to comment on that. I guess more will kind of come out based on the budget results on that. And also, I want to thank the administration. We just passed resolution, was it 210 tonight, on the energy? And, you know, it kind of goes along with what the mayor said about, you know, being judicious with the money. Just by being aggressive, what we passed tonight, just by constantly searching, we just knocked another $15,000 off of our electric bills, just by staying alert, staying on top of things, and constantly putting out there. And I think we pulled one because we have to go rebid, so with the street lights. So that'll yield an additional savings. So again, I want to thank everyone for supporting that, because every dollar counts, as we were talking about, and anyone will take the money if it's free just by doing a little extra homework, right? So 15,000 is still 15,000 more in the budget. So that concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Rossi?
Nothing to report, thank you.
Mr. Valentine?
Nothing to report, thank you.
Council President, Mr. Heverly?
I can't add anything that hasn't already been said. No reports this evening.
This concludes reports for this evening.
Do I have a motion to open to the public portion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anyone wishing to speak?
Debbie DeFelice, 878 Clayton Road. During the past 5 or 6 years, we've watched the community center blossom into a focal point in town. And as Donna has stated in her report, they're bursting at the seams. Things sell out immediately. We service not just the seniors, but the special needs, the pride, the children activities, the events that they hold for free are just unbelievable. I wanted to ask on record are there any plans to get something bigger and better for a facility for them? They are bursting at the seams. The kitchen is so small. When you host the events, it's like the volunteers are on top of each other. We can't do the senior lunches. We can only host a certain amount of people. They have to have tickets now to get in. The Christmas events, all the events are the monthly craft event. It sells out in minutes. And what are we, I know there's all these great grants that we're getting for other areas, but what are we doing for the heartbeat of the town?
So what I could tell you, you want to comment?
Oh, gladly. So I'm pretty sure most people are aware, last year we did apply for a $1 million grant to build an additional facility there where the old Denovi building was knocked down. That was a federal grant, and as I'm sure all of us are paying attention to the news, most of those grants were cut. So we did not get that grant. It actually didn't even make it to the final approval phase. So we will look again at the next round when this comes out. Hopefully the federal budget will be in better shape and they won't cut as much as they did this year, and we'll be able to try and get something like that. Brandy and I have talked about many times about if we got that basically large building that would have been put over there for that, we would be able to move some, like the luncheon could have gone over there, the food pantry could have gone over there, and that would have opened up some space in that building. That building is very old, and when we start making changes to that, it's going to be extremely expensive because of the ADA compliance regulations that will come into place once we start changing so much of that building. I empathize with all of you over there. I tell Brandy on a regular basis I could not have my office in that organized chaos, we'll call it, because it is just so busy all the time. And everybody over there, yourself included as a volunteer, everybody does a great job and not the best environment, but we have tried and we will continue to try. As the mayor said, really over 3 years, over $4.6 million. That first year was really almost nothing because we started applying in our first year. So it's really over 2 years that we got $4.3 million. And we, again, lost out on $1 million grant there. So
I mean, they just do so much with so little. Just the food giveaways that they do every week. The amount of people that walk through that door is, you can't really even understand it until you're there. I don't know how they work even in that environment because it's constant. It's constant. I couldn't do that job, and just to volunteer there, it's like you try to give some of your time to help, but it's what they do for the community with such a small staff is just unbelievable. And I'm not just saying that because we're lifelong friends. I'm saying that because I can be harder on them than most, you know, and what they do is just so much for the community. So I just want to see it.
No, and Deb, we recognize that, and, you know, we are very aggressive with the grants, and we're looking, and we're searching, and we will continue to do that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak from the public this evening? Seeing none, do I have a motion to close public portion?
Motion to close.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.